things are going to change. Wedding photography then. Wedding photography is going through a very difficult time, as is absolutely everything else right now in the world, because of you know what, it's just gone a bit unprecedented craziness. There's a lot of things going on that everyone's got to deal with. I fully understand that. And right now in the UK, we're at crunch time. There's a lot of things shutting down. We're just going through that process in the last week. And I want to just talk about weddings and wedding photography. I touched on it in my last video. And I just want to let you know about something that's happened and what I think might happen going forward. Even once we start to come out of the quarantine that's happening, I got a feeling things are going to be different. So for a long time, I've had a wedding booked in with a lovely couple, booked for today. That wedding was due to carry on and go ahead, even with all the latest things that were starting to happen this week. It was still, as of last night, going ahead. But then at 5 o'clock yesterday, the Prime Minister said,
"We are collectively telling cafes, pubs, bars and restaurants to close tonight as soon as they reasonably can and not to open tomorrow."
Well, weddings have bars, food, restaurants, all that sort of thing. It's exactly what he said you can't do. I knew it was going to be an issue, and within a couple of hours it was confirmed the wedding was off. They couldn't have the wedding of their dreams. They were gutted, and of course the wedding just couldn't go ahead. Now, I've been having postponements for weeks, so I sort of assumed it was coming, but because it was so close and still at that point where things were open, the couple were obviously hoping for the best. Cut to 6 a.m. this morning, and I have a message. Can I still turn up and take some photos? They are going to continue with a very small wedding of about 10 guests, and they'd love it if I can still take photos. They weren't pushy. They knew they'd cancelled me officially, or postponed me until the big day, but they still wanted to get married today for several personal reasons, along with some other things that they did which were very much orientated around today's date. They really wanted today to be their wedding day, and I get that. I totally get that. So, with a contract in place, I kind of had to abide by it. I could have said no, but it would have been tricky ground. I probably would have had to refund them in full, and I also wanted to be there for the day that they redo it. Now, they've told me they will redo their wedding day in full, and we will slide that booking over. So today was really an extra booking, technically, if you can look at it like that. So there's a few things that the venue were trying to do to keep it business as usual, but obviously after yesterday's announcement, they couldn't do that. So we went ahead. We had 11 guests in total, plus myself, and the 2 registrars, or 1 registrar and 1 celebrant, who performed the ceremony. It was actually a lovely ceremony, and it was very intimate, and this is what has led me to think things might change. But the wedding today for me was very surreal. I've never been around during any serious war times. I'm too young to have experienced anything like that, and it just felt like wedding photography from years ago. We were there and we were told there was going to be no drinks, no food, nothing. It was the ceremony, photo, outside, and then you can have a couple of photos in the grounds and you must leave. So it was very much, there are no staff, there's no one here to help. There was just the duty manager that was there, ready to help out if needed. He didn't have to do much. Within 10 minutes of the ceremony finishing, we were outside. Within 45 minutes of being outside and taking some lovely photos with the couple, I took a few group shots and then just took a few shots with just them, as I would normally do. It was all done. It was done and dusted. They got back in their wedding car and off they drove, just married. Just like it used to be when I was younger, and just like it used to be years ago when there wasn't really a big party on the evening. In the UK, it was quite a short thing. You'd have the wedding, you'd get in the car at the church, you'd drive off with cans tied to the back to make a noise. Everyone would spray foam saying just married on the car, and off they go. And that was it. That was the wedding. There wasn't really a party. And then late 90s onwards, it was very much a party, and it became a full day. Very extravagant and very different to what it was years ago. But today was very old school. It just felt strangely familiar, but intimate and alien and surreal. The whole thing was just completely new to me, and I loved it. I loved the fact that it was intimate and quiet. Now, I quite enjoy a big party, and I enjoy getting all the guests together and arranging the shots, but it was so nice just to have these 10 guests to just move around, take the photo, and then take the couple off just for their own creative shots. They were very keen to then just go, and that was it. Wave bye-bye, see you later. 2 o'clock ceremony, 3 o'clock, I was in the car on my way home. I think we have to think about how this may affect us moving forward and how weddings might be conducted moving forward, because if this becomes quite a long-term thing, which I got a feeling is going to be more than 12 weeks, I think we could be looking at months and months of slow and steady release of things starting to reopen, everyone starting to come back outside. But things like weddings and big parties and football games and sports games and all these big things like concerts, I think are going to be a little bit further on. I don't think they're just going to turn around and say, yep, there you go, everyone can go back out. And therefore I think the summer weddings this year could be very different. They could be restricted to couples and just 5, 6, 7 guests, or church weddings which are already just the couple and 2 witnesses. So you won't be allowed into the church to take photos. And I think they're going to turn it into quite a mini creative shoot. Now my point being, how is that going to affect us? So it doesn't sound like there's opportunity to make as much money because we're not going to be there charging for all-day photography, but I do think it's something we could look at as an extra creative option, an extra package. So if your couple are really considering having a very small wedding and then having a big celebration further down the line once everything is settled down, I think you could offer that. I think you could offer a package with some really beautiful creative photography for just an hour. Now I don't know what you charge for that, but even if you did some of the preparations and the build up, ideally some shots in the church if you're allowed. They may change that soon, but that may also stick at 4 people only. It will allow you to be really creative in your photography. You're not going to have a timetable or a time scale where we must leave here now because you've got to sit down for your meal at this time, you've got to do this next, you've got all these guests that want these photos. You just take the couple off and be creative. As I say, the shots I got today and some of the shots that I've got in the past where I've had a lot more time have been super creative. Now it does stop you getting certain shots throughout the day, especially if you are a reportage style of photographer where you like to get those natural candid moments. They're just not going to happen. They're not going to be there. And this isn't really me saying that reportage won't work, but as an extra, I think there's an opportunity for those creative photographers, which I like to think of myself as one. I like to get the couple stage a few different shots, and even then in winter or late evening in the summer when I can get creative with my off-camera flash, I love doing things like that. And I'd be really keen to put together packages like that. That's all this video was really about. I just wanted to talk about how it was for me today. I don't think I'm going to have any other weddings like it for the next couple of months because pretty much all of my business for weddings now has officially postponed. Haven't all had new dates yet, but they've all postponed. The good thing is no one's cancelled, which is good from a certain point of view. It's going to affect me no matter what moving forward, as it is everybody. But you know, if we can keep it in the diary and maybe offer those creative shoots, it's certainly worth considering. Let me know what you think. Let me know down below exactly what you're thinking about everything. I'd love to know what people are looking to do to be more creative, and that's just for tips and tricks from me and everyone else that watches. And let me know your thoughts on this exact thing in the comments. Have you had a wedding today? Did you have a wedding over this weekend that maybe you thought shouldn't have gone ahead? Was there a lot of guests? I am aware there are a few weddings that have gone ahead that really shouldn't, and I'm pretty sure that had the local police been called, they would have turned up to turf them out. I know that has officially happened today at one venue in the UK, and I'll be surprised if there are any other weddings after today, or maybe tomorrow. But I'd love to hear from you. If you've got a wedding, or you had a wedding, let us know in the comments down below exactly what happened and how you felt about it, because there was a lot of positives that I took from today, and the fact that I wasn't there for very long, and I will be rearranging with them some sort of compensation for the time I was there today. And they've got some lovely photos. I still ended up shooting about 800 shots, which is half of what I usually do on a wedding. So they are going to have some lovely photos, some of which you've just seen. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Please leave a thumbs up if you don't mind, subscribe and hit that bell notification so you're kept informed of future videos. As always, I'm Matt from Roto, and I'll catch you in the next one.